What's going on, family and friends? I hope you guys are having an incredible day. This is actually not a devotional message that I'm sharing with you. However, it is an important video, so thank you for tuning in. I'm going to share some exciting news with you, but I'm also going to ask your help with something. And just so you know, for those of you who don't know me, I'm actually usually a private person, so this video is not easy for me to make. However, God really led me to do this, and I had some good family and friends surround me, encourage me to do it as well. So here we go. Over the last few weeks, I've been working with the lawyer. Now, don't worry, I'm not in trouble now. But for those of you who know my story, know I have some stuff when I was younger that I got into trouble with. And if you don't know my story, I grew up in an environment where there was drugs all around me, and it's just some really unhealthy things. No dad in the house. Really no strong leadership, and it had some stuff happen to me and my sister at a real young age that was very traumatic, and it impacted our lives. And we ended up going down some very painful roads, making some bad decisions. And for those of you who have ever been there or who have seen someone go down that road, you know that decisions that you make can last and impact your life forever. Usually, that's actually what happened to me. I ended up getting some felony cases against me at a young age, and those things don't go away. And the struggling thing is, being where I'm at now, I'm married and, on staff at a church, and I've, graduated Bible college, got my bachelor's degree, working on my master's. And for those of you who may see it like, man, it looks like everything's okay. But what you don't see are the painful moments when I realized that no matter how hard I work, those felony cases, they impact my life. There's been times where I've gone out to get an apartment. There's been times where I've applied for a job, and it doesn't matter what my life looks like right now. It doesn't matter how I look or how good I'm doing. Those things impact me and they hold me back. There's been times where I've been in my living room crying with my wife because I've worked so hard to be where I'm at, and these things are still holding me down. I've had jobs turn me down. I've had apartments turn me away, and it's a painful and hurtful thing, I'll be honest with you. I haven't touched drugs or alcohol for over a decade. I've worked really, really hard to be where I'm at, and I'm not trying to say that I'm great or brag or anything. I'm just trying to say that coming from where I came from, getting saved and hearing the gospel in jail and going to prison and being in that environment and getting released and staying on the right track was a lot of hard work for me. I had a lot of bad perspectives I had to change. I had a lot of work I had to do to get out of the addiction. And I'll be honest with you, I've put in a lot of work, a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, and a lot of tears to be where I'm at. And for me to walk into a building and have someone who doesn't know me say, hey, because of this thing that you did 15 years ago, we can't hire you or we can't let you live here. It's hurtful and it's painful. And I've had some very, very tough and difficult moments throughout the last decade or so because of that stuff. And so I'm sharing all that with you because the Lord has brought a miracle into my life. He brought a lawyer into my life who is extremely talented and has a huge heart, and he wants to help me out. And he believes it's possible that we can get all of these felonies, all of these cases wiped off of my record so that they can never impact me again. Now, the exciting thing about that is this is literally the last piece of that chapter of my life. This is that last moment where I can close that door on my life forever. And to me, that's a liberating thing. That's something that needs to happen because I don't want to have kids and have this impact my life. I don't want to keep moving forward and have these things continue to sneak up and hold me back. I want to move forward completely free. So this is an exciting thing that we've been working on. And last week, we ran into a hiccup in the road. And that's what I want to share with you today is he called me and we talked a little bit, and I shared that I had reached out and talked to some of the courts, and they had began to show me all the things that need to be done. And one of the things that came up was all of the fines and fees and all of the stuff that were attached to all those cases. It added up to $4,500, and adding that to the $2,000 lawyer fee made it $6,500 I had to come up with to complete this last piece. And I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money for me. I don't have that. As a matter of fact, what I do in life, I don't do it for money. So I don't end up, not to say that I don't make good money. The church is very gracious and takes care of us, but we're not millionaires over here. We're not making, that much money. $6,500 to me is something at this moment that's unobtainable. And I'll be honest with you guys, when I heard that, my heart sank and I just felt hopelessness again. And I almost just gave up in that moment and said, you know what? Maybe it's just not the right time. But God checked my heart in that moment and he said, do not give up. Do not turn away. Do not stop. Keep pressing. And I don't know what that looks like right now. And I don't know how I'm going to move forward. And I don't know how I'm going to get that money. But I shared it with my sister a couple days ago. And she said, well, you need to really just put this out there. Maybe start a GoFundMe. And I've never done a GoFundMe. I've never asked for money from anybody. I've never, that's not something that I'm comfortable doing really. But here's the thing that God showed me is that if you're a part of my life and you're my family or friend, you're a part of my journey. And this is a part of my journey. And this is a moment where I get to close that door forever. And so I want to invite you to consider giving to the campaign or maybe sharing this post and maybe someone else would be willing to give to that campaign. Here's the thing that you may not understand. Felonies label you for the rest of your life. And you may not know me as a felon. You may know me as Pastor Michael, or you may know me as the guy with the discipleship podcast, or Mike Brand who puts out Christian music. And you may not know me as Felon Michael, but here's the thing. When I go to apply for an apartment, or if I go to get a loan to buy a house, or if I go to apply for a job, what they see is felon. They see Felon Michael. And that's not me. And you know that's not me, but those things stick with you. And maybe you've been there in your life, and maybe that felony is holding you back, and you understand the pain and the frustration that it can be to when you're working hard to get your life back on track and that thing continues to hold you back. So I believe that God is wanting to close that chapter, and I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to do that. But I need your help. And so again, it's not easy for me to ask, but however, I believe that you can be a part of this journey with me. And for whatever the Lord will put on your heart to share, just know that I'm grateful. My wife is extremely grateful. We're excited and hopeful that this case will go through and that we'll be able to close the door to that chapter of my life. My wife has been there every step of the way. She's worked just as hard as me. She's been through all of the blood, sweat, and tears with me. And we really want to move forward. And we believe that this is the last final piece of that door closing. So with that being said, I just want to encourage you. So anything that you give is extremely appreciated. Just know that. But I also want to encourage you to know that maybe that's you as well. And maybe you are trying to move forward in your life, and maybe you're just getting started. For whatever the case is, I want to let you know that, listen, with God, all things truly are possible. He's brought me so far. He's done so much. He's been so faithful. He's been so good. And even if this doesn't work out, I'm still going to praise God. And I'm still going to worship him because, guys, he has been so good and so faithful to me. He has come through, and every step of the way, God has been so good. And I just want to encourage you. Maybe that's you. Maybe you feel stuck because of your past. Maybe you've made bad decisions that have been holding you back in life. Do not give up. Trust God. Turn your heart over to him. He will lead you. He will shepherd you. He will guide you into a beautiful life where his presence is abundant and his love and joy and peace covers your heart. Don't give up. Let my life just be a reminder of God's faithfulness over your life, because whatever he's done in my life, I know he wants to do in your life as well. So I hope that encourages you. Do not let the felony label mark you. You are not a felon, okay? You are a child of God, and you maybe have made some mistakes, but God wants to redeem you. And for those of you who are a part of my life, I just want to thank you in advance for giving and supporting me. And again, guys, this wasn't an easy video for me to make, but I wanted to just be transparent. I wanted to just be authentic and let you guys know what's going on in my life and give you an opportunity to be a part of this journey with me. Thank you again in advance. Love you so much. Talk to you soon.